Hey people, Indra here, VV3, Hades Wastes, Blue Team. It's triple Techmarine time. We better see some bloody Dreadnoughts, I tell ya. This is ZOXIN with the Blood Ravens alongside. cyanIDe, oh more Blood Ravens, are they all Blood Ravens? They are not. This is STaNKoM with some Dark Angels. These guys fight with a ranged bolt gun by default, can get a melee weapon, strong support with structures, and they can also repair. Red Team, couple of Imperial Guard. Molek is a Lord Commissar, strong offense and support. Fighting in melee begins with a refractor shield alongside. Just a dot here with a Lord General. Fighting in ranged combat begins where the retinue of Stormtroopers, really strong defense and support, can also add to the retinue. You're gonna shoot, fellas? Derek and Nigel just taking a nap. There we go. There we go, a little bit. And rounding off the teams, Xerene is a Chaos Lord, a durable and destructive hero. Walking through objects cannot be suppressed with powerful offense and disruption. Fighting in melee, the Alpha Legion elite scheme. Big swing and a miss there on the Techmarine, who did grab the Eastern contested power, did not node it though, so Heretics are now just decapping, and the Techmarines forced off, was isolated slightly from their Marines and their Scouts. Meanwhile in the mid, Scouts on capping duty, some more showing up with shotguns. I'm going to get very confused between ZOXIN and cyanIDe because they're the same hero with the same army scheme. Sentinel gets the ground pound. Also have a Sentinel up for Molek, came out a little bit later, has decapped the Western VP there, contested this victory point. Double Guardsmen are around. Looks like they want to fight though, rather than, yeah, they want to get a flank on these Marines, I think, rather than cap that, which is the thing to do. Decent stomp, but it's taken a bunch of damage. This Sentinel, can it survive? Shotgun Scouts are chasing, and they're going to get it, I think. They do indeed get it. And Guardsman wipe as well. There's a tough start, a rough start for the Lord General. But hey, Derek and Nigel are fine. Meanwhile, Chaos Lords pushed all the way through northeast and grabbed the natural victory point. More power going up for the blue team. Scouts can't outshoot Chaos Space Marines. There you go, run away, fellas. Pack's just holding back for now. I'm not sure if it's worth them pushing, but they want to poke a little bit. It's important to try and poke a little bit. They're now being attacked from two sides though. Chose a bad time to poke. Here comes some Devastators. Can't suppress the Chaos Lord, but he'll take a bunch of damage if he gets close to that heavy bolter. Needs to go around it, and has the means to do so with this wall here. This Techmarine, I think, again, a bit too far forward. I mean, you want to counter pressure and break out, but you've got to do it carefully, or you'll just keep the pressure up on yourself. Look at the map. It's incredibly blue right now. Xerene has some Noise Marines up with a Sonic Blaster that can shake apart structures such as power gens, also deal some decent damage and shut down ranged attacks. Heretics capping duty over here. No sign of the Sentinel being replaced by the Lord General. They do have double Guardsmen up though. Don't see anything on the Lord General either. Power Sword up for the Lord Commissar and Carapace Armor. Power Sword gives them, as you would expect, a power weapon. Effective against heavy infantry and super heavy. And lead by example, which is amazing. More speed, and he gets special attacks per swing, which buff nearby units. Assault Squad on the field by ZOXIN. Oh, for cyanIDe as well. Double Devastators for STaNKoM. S.T.A.N.K.o.M. I'm not sure how I meant to pass this. There's the double jump in. Might need to respond with Catching Devil with these fellas now. Assault Squad are really going to bully this. Just tear through the Guardsmen. There's a stomp. Lord Commissar can also do some work with the Power Sword, of course. I'm not sure if they meant to retreat him there, but they're off. Blue team breakout finally. Assault Squad making a difference. They also have a mastercrafted bolter in on ZOXIN. Can use that to suppress the Lord Commissar maybe. High powered shot can just take out the Guardsman model as well. And it's just nice to have the extra DPS to pick through the Guardsman models. Get some XP. Assault Squad now for STaNKoM. Double devs into Assault Marines. They are spending. Did they upgrade their Scouts? Don't see any upgrades for the Scouts. Grenade launcher Heretics just knocked back the Devastators. They are able to set up. They do not target the Chaos Lord properly. Noise Marines got kind of messed up. Assault Squad trying to jump and finish him maybe. Can they get it done? They can get it done. Nicely played by cyanIDe. Showed up just the right time and executed the jump. Artillery spotters on the field for Molek. Pulling in a mortar shell over there, but now they have assault marines on them. They can't really deal with marines in melee. Or any melee unit in melee. Assault squad here for STaNKoM. Tier 2s for the red team. Map has turned very blue as the Space Marine players really invested in their tier 1 armies. And the red teams haven't quite as much. Well, they got noise marines up and stuff, but they lost them. And the Lord General did have that really bad engagement, and it seems like their solution will just go tier 2. We'll see if that backfires as blue team apply pressure. Assault squad getting kind of low here. Backing off slightly, but they have some support from some more marines, including more assault marines. That could be a dicey fight though. Going in on a power sword wielding Lord Commissar, who's not actually fighting them. Trying to fight some tactical marines right now. Should have turned their attention to the assault squad, I think. They might get a model though. They might get one. They did. They got a marine. Would have given him a big chunk of XP there, but can they survive? I think so. Huge amounts of pressure. Trying to bash the gens. I don't have any flamers up. But a bunch of bolt guns and shotgun scouts can actually bash reasonably well if you get nice and close like this. Because they have that proximity damage. I don't think anything else in the game uses that mechanic. The other shotguns in the game do not operate like scout shotguns do in terms of proximity damage. I think that's right anyway. Bloodletters on the way for Xerene in tier 2 and a Chimera already up top of your screen for the Lord General. They can now reinforce off this Chimera, get inside of it to operate the turrets on top as well. And of course there's a big lump, well, a reasonable lump of vehicle armor to deal with. They bashed and decapped the gens. As well played by the blue team. Don't think they lost anything doing it. Did they even lose a model? We did see one marine go down. I think it was ZOXIN's marines lost a model there. These guys trying to get between the bases. I don't think that works anymore. I think they removed that. Double the regen between the bases. Hatchin Devils are on the field for Molek. Very versatile squad that can support units with a smoke grenade. It can disrupt in 2 ways, suppress, and even have some power melee. Tier 2 in for all players now. Where are the bloodletters? They're low, very low. Down to 3 models, maybe lucky not to be down to 2 models or even 1. Reinforcing off the Chimeras, quite a lot of heresy, fellas. I'm not sure how that's meant to be working. Plasma guns on the field for the Lord General on the Guardsman squads, both of them. And they were buffing them with fire on my target, increasing range. Longer range plasma guns isn't bad. Hey, Dreadnought's on the way, awesome. One for ZOXIN and one for STaNKoM. Just a really weird name to say. I guess they're going to get assault cannons up, but we might see some melee Dreadnought action. Or maybe a multi-melter to try and chase down the Chimera. Tactical Marines get their sergeant and they just ate an improvised explosive, and there's that long-range grenade launcher barrage from the Catachins. It's such awesome disruption. Spotters pulling in incendiary shells as well. We've got basically no cover to use here now. More sergeants up over there for cyanIDe. You guys have plasma guns, looks like it. Oh, those are the Lord Generals. But Molek also has plasma gun guardsmen here. Plasma very effective against Marines with their heavy armor. There's that Dreadnought though. What are they going to do for this? Obvious answer is las cannons, but they could get jumped. I guess everything can get jumped, but stormtroopers are a bit more mobile and they can sneak. Scouts do have their sergeant though. It might be tricky. They might need to double up on AV. And the Dreadnought is getting an assault cannon for ZOXIN. But over here for STaNKoM, it's in melee mode. And we get this Dark Angel coloration from the DLC. What do they call them? The Dreadnoughts. So I know Terminator's a Deathwing. And they have Raven Wing for their land speeders and stuff. I'm not sure what they call their Dreadnoughts to give them this coloration. It's probably something cool and grimdark. Oh, Primary Cypher on the field for the Lord General. Still not used to seeing this guy pop out, but there he is. Don't get to see him very often. He's got a very good basic attack. His jumps from unit to model to model. And has some cool support units. Starts with the telekinetic dome these days, so you may see Ogren's up. Because it buffs melee stuff and melee combat. The Chaos Lord has lightning claws in. 100 DPS power melee, that's when he's at level 1. 218 to 396 on the VP. Is he going to steal this, fellas? Seems like that was the plan since they went for the node immediately. But they are now idle. Assault squad with their sergeant. All round, I think. Yep, they all have their sergeants. Gives them a power sword and allows them to use Merciless Strike. Meanwhile, crazy push from STaNKoM. Down it goes. The Sentinel with a crack missile launcher and las cannon. I'm not sure why they would push the Dreadnought through onto the natural power. Well, to bash it, I guess, is the obvious answer, but that's so risky in a 3v3. Decent Merciless Strike, but they didn't really want to fight the Chaos Lord, especially when there's Markov Zinch Chaos Space Marines on the field now. These Inferno bolts do huge damage to heavy infantry, and that demonic plasma gun is pretty rough too on the aspiring champion. Got some Stern Guard veterans up. Can change their ammo to combat all targets. Down goes the Sentinel. I think it was a las cannon that got the last shot. Chimera's still rocking. Stern Guard are going to run into a creeping barrage here. No, they dodged it. Expertly dodged there by running forward. Mines dropped in by Molek. Tier 3's now coming in. For the Space Marine players, they weathered the early storm and they got some vital kills, taking out the Noise Marines, also messing up the Lord General a bit. And they're doing well. The Dreadnoughts have been pretty solid. Well, the Dreadnought that didn't go rushing forward has been pretty solid anyway. There's that Primaris Psyker. Getting messed up, shotgun blasted. And Stern Guard veterans are using their acid rounds, their Hellfire acid rounds. Melter Gun Techmarine maybe to get their eye, trying to get their eyes on the Chimera. Get the Signum armor up perhaps. Both of the Stern Guard using their Hellfire. Dreadnought's getting some repairs from the Techmarine. Scouts can also repair, of course. Through the mid though, what's going on? Bloodlayers are going on. In amongst some Devastators, and they can delete Devastators so fast these days now that Devastators have the minor melee resistance of 20%. Need to phase out here though, fellas, taking shots from the Techmarine. Nope, they still want to fight stuff. They're going to get a full power bash here, and they've got the VP, and they could maybe decap. What is this? Sneaky Scouts grabbing this power back on the eastern edge. Well done, Xerene, pushing that east side. They really needed that push right now. Plague Marines on the field. Very tough infantry. Well, they don't have big armor, but huge amount of hit points and health regen. Makes them tough to deal with. Vanguard veterans jumping in for cyanIDe. STaNKoM also has some Vanguard veterans. They lose the melter bomb, so they lose some utility, but they're more effective in combat. Stormtroopers on the field for the Lord General, barely making it away there. And some Devastator plasma cannon, fellas. I guess going to the west side, yep. Setting up, covering this VP. Dreadnought's going to get fully repaired. Done some good work, this guy. Level 4 Techmarine now does have Signum. Anyone else? Nope. STaNKoM has no war gear whatsoever. Meanwhile, Xerene is kind of camping on the VP here with some Pawn Worship for +2 speed. Vanguard veterans jumping in. Marco Zinch CSM turn to engage. I think they should be going after the CSM. Well, here comes another Vanguard veteran drop. Jump, I should say. Bloodletters now, though, to counter-initiate. Under Corn Worship, there will be especially vicious with health regen and stuff. Being knocked over a lot. Chaos Lord also quite low. Might be worth focusing that guy down. I think a Techmarine's shooting him with the melter gun. Oh, but they're being tied up in melee by the Plague Marines now. Venerable Dreadnought dropped in. Vanguard veterans, white, yes they do. The Emperor's Fist didn't come in time. This guy's unique to the Techmarine, the Venerable Dreadnought. Huge amount of hit points, and it can charge. Unfortunately for the Dreadnought, though, it can't change its weapon loadout. It's stuck in melee. But it's very fun. It has a bad fight for STaNKoM. Xerene, I think, got away with everything. Aside from the Chaos Lord, of course. Who's level 4 now. West side is blue. But it's a big VP lead for the red team. Here comes that Venerable Dreadnought. Anything here to threaten it? Not really. Pathogens do have their Sarge, who has a melter gun. But it's going to be a tough task for them to solo a Dreadnought. Not sure where their las cannon is. It's here. No, it's not. That's just a heavy weapons. But I guess they lost their las cannon. And they've got another one coming. Again, the Dreadnought's super far forward. I mean, I know you're Venerable and stuff, and you do have Dark Age of technology now. That was added in Elite mod many years ago for the Venerable Dreadnought. Takes it up over 2,000 hit points at level 1. So he's taking las cannon shots. What is this one doing too? Wants to get a barrage. Really wants to get a barrage for the Emperor. Sets up an orbital maybe. Now it turns around. There we go. Las cannon retreats. The orbital. I'll hit some stuff over here. I don't think it's going to hit anything else. Those guys kind of wandered into it. Those stormtroopers almost wiped. They weren't retreating. And now they wipe. Decent push. Can they get away cleanly though? Maybe. Dreadnought is backing off. Charging out there. I think it's okay. Got away relatively cleanly. Another orbital coming in. Manticore getting some shots now from Molek. Needs to drive away from the orbital beam. Assault squad, no, sorry, Vanguard veterans jumping in. Orbital didn't do that much in the end, I think. Vanguard veterans in a bad spot. Lots of plasma. Inferno bolts on them. Here comes a Predator tank. Revive here. Lord Commissar is going to get back to the field. I'm not sure if the Chaos Lord's still down. They haven't purchased a revive yet. 2-1 for blue. 151, 280. Dreadnought still needs repairs over there. Techmarines do have a global ability that repairs all allied vehicles on the map. I don't actually know if it stacks. Does anyone know? I wonder if it stacks. They all use it. Oh, it's active now actually, look. Because that thing's being repaired. Nothing repairing it. So that means Blessing of the Omnissiah is active. I'm not sure why the Dreadnought's being pushed in here. Completely isolated. Yep, no, look, I think there's double Blessing of the Omnissiah going on. I think we can see it stacking right here. Taking Plague Marine shots. Las Cannon's now setting up another one. Can they get the tank? Not quite. Tank gets away and here comes another. Plague Marines almost got it and then they exploded. Well, the guy with the missile launcher exploded. Then it just goes to someone else. Not sure what this cycler's up to. Oh. Imperial Abyss coming in. Did they use Ethereal Slash there, did I see? Ethereal Wave? What is it called again? I can't remember. Can they get the tank? They can. The nuke, I think, was kind of decent-ish, maybe. Killed some Stern Guard, I think, perhaps. Tank crashes into a wall. Oh boy. CSM in a bad spot. I don't think Xerene's noticed. There we go. Xerene gets them out. STaNKoM down to 2 units. Land Raider Redeemer on the way for ZOXIN. Is that 3 las cannons? Yep, 3 las cannons. Also the Plague Marines and of course a Manticore that can hit a vehicle super effectively. A big vehicle like a Land Raider anyway. Oh, it's cancelled. They cancelled the Land Raider. Or did they? Or did it just come out? Do I see a Land Raider? I do not. I think it was cancelled. Meanwhile, on the east side, Venerable Dreadnought's going to drop. Down it goes. There's the Stoicism. So it's 10 seconds of constant inspiration and increased damage. You might get that las cannon. Nope. Goes down. Manticore strike now. They're going to get the tank. Maybe. They do. Las cannon gets it. Oh boy, STaNKoM has nothing on the field now. Level 3 Primaris Psycho. Done some decent work, eh? Now they're blob capping. Is it ZOXIN that was getting the Land Raider? I guess they had to reinforce things maybe. Looks like some Terminators coming in. Yeah, Terminators for STaNKoM. Chaos Lord back to their feet now, and they are level 4 with the demonic visage to debuff things when they smack them. Or claw them in this instance. Lord Commissar having a go. Is that stubbornness up? It is. Superb war gear. Especially in the team game potentially. You get crazy heals off it. 2-1 for red. The VP's got pretty close to it. Oh, Chaos Lord's fallen over again. Satisfying barrage. Almost whacked those CSM. They can reinforce off the Chimera, but they felt it would be safer to run away. Revived there. They made it out. Land Raider Redeemer is on the way now for ZOXIN. Can they hold and carry STaNKoM a bit here? Uh-oh. Level 4. Assault Cannon Dreadnought being chased by Plague Marines. Couple more of those and it's down. Can they save it? Need to get into melee with these Plague Marines before they shoot. Oh, that was a clutch jump. Just before they were going to fire, I think. Gets away. Dreadnought survives. Incredibly close. And they do have scouts and a Techmarine to repair it, of course. Red team need to be careful not to overextend here. Some Bloodletters under Corn worship. But I think they're outnumbered. Yeah, they're having to shift out. Heretics might want to back off a bit. There we go. Yep, Imperial wave going through there. Pretty good. Always nice to have on-demand disruption like that. Such a powerful tool. Xerene has a great unclean one on the way. And that might be rough. Because it's going to be really good at counter-initiating the double Vanguard veterans. Where's the Land Raider going now? Land Raider is going to the east to try and get these guys off the VP. It's decapped at the moment. Bloodletters are tearing stuff up, almost level 4. More mines dropped in by Molek. 84 to 183 on the VP. Cyclone missile launcher now for the Terminators. There's the barrage, so they aimed at the Marines, not the Chimera. But it's getting very low. Now retreating under Corn Worship. Oh, Corn Worship stopped, but I think they'll be okay. Land Raider's going to push on through. You can retreat to a Land Raider, you can reinforce off it, and it gives you some health regen. Potentially game-changing unit in a team game. I mean, all the super units are, I suppose, but this one provides so much for you. It's like a power multiplier for all these powerful units, and now they can afford to be super aggressive and retreat back to a known good point. Took a lot of damage there, though, the Land Raider, eh? Took a lot of damage. Plague Marines have done really well. Level 3. Great unclean one is on the field. Molek has some Kassakin up, and they're getting their plasma guns ready. Try and put some hurt on these Marines and these Terminators. Grenade goes in. There's the great unclean one. Passively damages nearby enemies with nasty abilities and powerful melee. You can of course worship the big fella, of course, as a demon for huge health regen and energy regen. And with the Corn worship, it'll get +2 speed as well. On the west side, blue team are taking the VP, probably. Terminator's coming in for cyanIDe. Trying to power fist the Chimera, I think. I love that they do an overhand smash with the power fist. Just bonk it on the top. Level 4 Dreadnought here, still around. Been superb for ZOXIN. On the east side, great unclean one, cracking on the Land Raider. It is doing decent damage back to it, but the Great Unclean has so much hit points, over 6,000 of super heavy infantry armor. So the regular piercing damage of the assault cannon and stuff is kind of bouncing off it. It also doesn't really care about the flame damage too much. But the multi-melter doing some work. And guess the twin is hooking and does so much DPS that it does add up. Great unclean one gets away. There's an Imperial Abyss trying to finish off the Land Raider. I think it's going to be okay. But some stuff is retreating through the central mass of the Abyss, peering into it and dying. Great unclean one turns to help out some fellow, well not fellow, I guess some Chaos Space Marines. Can the Vanguard veterans finish it off here? There's no support for the Great Unclean one. They can jump in front of it and I think finish it off here. Cyclone missile launcher did some good damage, but it also knocked over the Vanguard and they give up the chase. Why did you give up the chase, fellas? You had 3 models. Could have jumped it and finished off the Great Unclean one easily, I think. Big mistake, I think, from cyanIDe. Dreadnought having fun with its barrages. Primaris Psyker now has the Diviner's Foresight, so you can spend health instead of energy. Very useful when you want to channel something such as Strict Soul. Ouch. Down goes the Dreadnought. It did so well. Orbital pulled in. These guys are not retreating, so they're taking full damage from this beam. I guess they don't care. Oh, is it because they have Vox Operator? They have someone. They've got 4 fellas. Oh, they had 4 fellas in their retinue. They're all gone. Derek and Nigel are no more. He'll find some others and reinforce them in the field. There we go. Nigel's has popped out. 75 to 154. Terminator teleporting in to be aggressive with Power Fists or something. What are they doing? I don't know. Shooting their Cyclone missile launcher at a jaunty angle. I don't know why they teleported in there. I thought they were going to tie up the Catapin or the Las Cannon or something, but they didn't. None of those things. So now they're trying to melee stuff? Nope, not really. Mark target on the Chimera. It's been orbed as well. Melter gun is there. Chimera goes down. They can't reinforce off it anymore. They're trying to focus fire that Techmarine. I think they could have tried to tie it up, maybe tie him up, but it didn't happen. 68, 141, 2 to 1 for blue. Sorry, says Molek. Look at the Catachans. Oh, maybe they wanted the Catachans to tie up the Techmarine, maybe. Lumen Russ on the way for Molek. Couple of tanks on the field for STaNKoM. How's it going over on the east side, though? Well, great unclean on your face is how it's going. Land Raider isn't quite fully repaired, neither is the tank. They're trying to grab the VP, the red team. To get a 2 to 1 rolling again. There's a foul snare. Dragging the Techmarine so far into trouble. It damages you, stuns you, and drags you. There's that noble vomit. I need to turn around, big fella. There you go. I mean, create some space for the cat. Now they have a 2 to 1 again. Chaos Sword falls over. Might be a vanquish Lumen Russ because there are some enemy vehicles on the field. The Land Raider and 2 Predators. Well played, Xerene. Good pressure on this side. And they seem to be getting away okay every time as well. Although maybe they were lucky to get the Great Unclean away last time. The tank is trying to give chase. There's nothing really to threaten it here, so why not? Well, it's giving it up. Not sure where their Plague Marines are. I suppose they're a base, are they? Yeah. They are retreating back. 48 to 129. 1 to 1 cap. Red team are getting the west side though, are they? Yes, guardsmen are on it. Fully upgraded guardsmen with plasma guns, Commissar and the Sergeant. Shotgun blast doesn't stop the revive. Lord General's backup has Flak Jacket for incoming. Incoming, so good. I think it's Andamine to knockback. I think it's basically always better than stabilizers, right? Does stabilizers really heal that much? 30% damage resist with a knockback immunity is so good. It might depend on the scale of the fights and stuff. Land Raider trying to be aggressive when he needs to try, because they need that VP down to 34 VPs for blue team. Here's a Lumen Russ though. Bad news for a Land Raider. Especially if it becomes a vanquisher. Rocket run in there. Not sure who from. I think the Land Raider's done for. Land Raider is indeed done for. They have got the VP, but was it worth it? Did they need to push with the Land Raider when they had infantry and Terminators and stuff? Speaking of Terminators, there's some more popping in the back. Oh, they've gone Executioner. They've gone for the more anti-infantry option. I mean, there's a lot of infantry, including Terminators. They'll work against all those guys. Look at this, well played. S.T.A.N.K.o.M getting on the VP and decapping him. Great Unclean One is now healed up, trying to get the Terminators out of here, vomiting on the tank a bit. How can the vomit not leave behind some damage over time? I think it should. There was a Malignant Blindness. 34 to 70. Another Predator tank on the way this time for cyanIDe. Blue team have the West, and they might get this one again. They might get a triple cap. The Lord General needs to spend their resources. They are going for a Stormlord. It's a risky play because of the sort of time. I'm not sure if it's going to get out in time. 2-1 against them. They've had their power stolen here too. Do the blue team have enough momentum? Oh, they might lose both of these tanks, because this one's not moving. Down it goes. Great Unclean One is chasing the other. Tries to vomit, and it works. They got both of those tanks down. Can they push this VP now? Xerene. Chaos Lord is still down. What level is the Chaos Lord? Level 4. I think it's worth popping that guy back up with a 250 rec purchase. Oh, here's the Lord General with Commissar and Medical Sergeant retinue guys. What is this? Venerable. Or this Marines. It's a Venerable Dreadnought again from STaNKoM. Lord General goes straight for the decap. 2-1 cap for blue. Emperor's Fist stops it. I don't think they're close to the west side. It's not going to be able to grab this at all. Is the 2-1 going to be enough? Kicking off on the west side with a couple of Leman Russes. Well, one Leman Russ now. I think the blue team have done enough. It was so close though. So close. Yeah, I think the Lord General pulled in a Leman Russ instead of getting the Stormlord, which is probably smart. But it looks like the blue team have done enough here. GG indeed. Awesome game. And the blue team take it at the end. Brute forced the west side to keep the red team off here. And yeah, and it's an excellent push by STaNKoM, it's got to be said, to get the decap. They lost a bunch of stuff doing it, but it proved vital. Level 10 Techmarine for ZOXIN. Level 9 for cyanIDe. STaNKoM got level 6. Did they have? Oh, they had a melter gun, look. Molek's Lord Commissar, level 5. And had Bionic Eye for the Inspired Determination. I'm not sure what they were using that on. Catachans, I guess, is the obvious target there. Level 8 Lord General and a level 4 Chaos Lord down at the end. There you have it, guys. Thank you for watching. It was a fun game, and I'll see you next time.